Thursday, March the 7th, and the first contingent of teams from around Australia arrive in Canberra for the 10th National Touch Championship. Queensland arrived, keen to regain their authority and confident of reversing some of last year's results.
Well, we're hopeful we get the whole lot, but if we get 4 or 5, we'll be more than happy.
And how many titles are you going to win?
Well, being realistic, 7 sounds a nice figure.
However, some team members were a little more cautious.
We haven't actually trained together as a team yet. We're going to be doing that in the next couple of days, but the enthusiasm is great.
I think the coach is always wanting improvement. I think we're progressing slowly, but hopefully we'll get there.
New South Wales arrived in force a couple of days later, relaxed and confident of maintaining, if not improving on last year's results.
We're very confident in the mixed competition this year, Gary. It's probably, personally, I think it's the strongest mixed team I've ever played in.
Everyone knows what they've got to do. I'm sure they'll do it.
We've been quick and young and fast for that amount of time. The games have been close, so I don't look at it as being any different.
We're extremely confident that we'll return home and make a bold statement with no touchdowns against us.
And just to make sure, New South Wales took advantage of their free time to get in a light training run in preparation for the week ahead. By Monday, everyone had arrived for the official opening and march past at Parliament House. Ros Kelly, patron of the association, opened the carnival.
It is quite appropriate that we're here in front of the symbol of Australia, the National Parliament, to convene this 10th national competition, because touch is truly a national sport. For the 700 of you who are visiting here, whether you be participants or whether you be officials or whether you be referees, my best wishes to you all and my thanks for choosing the national capital to hold your 10th competition.
After the opening, it was off to Bruce Stadium for some last-minute stretches a bite or two to eat, some running repairs, and a week of touch action.
The New South Wales side now limbering up out on the paddock, just getting ready for this game. A couple of other things about the rules, of course. The acting half has a couple of restrictions placed on him as well in this game.
The acting half in the game, if he runs with the ball, chooses to run with the ball and is caught by the opposition, will lose possession and turns that possession over to the opposition.
And so Queensland in possession, kicking off here, moving down play very quickly. You'll notice that as the players move up, as soon as they're touched, the fellow touching them won't act as a marker, moves back into the defensive line straight away, and Queensland already are pressuring just with simple moves, although there's a penalty against them here. For play just not being up quickly enough there. Now in possession of the ball is Robson. Robson will send it back to Carl. Carl gets another pass back to Robson, then sends another pass out there to Buckland. Brennan is tackled. Play the ball, getting it back now at Bussell. Bussell gets a pass out wide there, but good defence out wide, and the New South Wales side caught in possession. So already in just the three or four passing movements, we see the New South Wales side able to recover their position very quickly. That's the speed of touch. Now Ray Lawrence is touched, and there's a change of possession now. Queensland in possession, moving play up. So it doesn't take much, does it, Gary? Just after about simple movements, only one or two passes, and they're able to make 10, 15 metres each time.
That's right. One of the main objects of the game these days is to just get your opposition going backwards. Try to pick up the pace as you're going forward, and if they're going backwards, hopefully they're not going to be able to keep up. They won't be able to get onside, and you're going to be able to take advantage of that.
Now, what about some of the moves we might see here as New South Wales again? There's just simple stuff early on, just the players getting their feeling their way here as Steve Vickery moves up.
I think
Lawrence.
One of the big parts in moves these days is to leave everything pretty late. Try some very late wraps and late switches.
And they're trying that now. New South Wales, a quick sweep there. Bell sends it back to Vickery, but there's a penalty here. Referee not happy with that move.
That signal was for a touch and pass. The player passed the ball after he was touched, and that results in a penalty to the opposition.
So it's straightforward touch here at the moment as Queensland are able to make good yards and make them very quickly here, just through moving away from dummy half and firing one pass away. Obviously, the defences have been coached to make sure they don't infringe there, because they're in a game like this, they're going to have their own line with the shorter field in danger pretty quickly. New South Wales getting the turnover again. Bit of a delay there as Vickery now gets the ball. Moving up was Knight. Now Vickery again. He's in the thick of the action, Gary.
Yeah, he certainly is. Obviously one of the dominant players.
Yeah, Vickery now gets a pass out to Tony Kemp. Kemp with the headgear on, and I think he'd need that on a pretty hot day in Canberra. It was Grigor got a pass away. Now in possession is Knight.
That's Dave Oliveri with the ball now, and many
now.
People might remember Dave Oliveri from his days with Newtown. Was a Newtown Rugby League first-grade player.
Good to see one of the Jets there. I don't mind admitting I was an old Newtown supporter. Remember Dave? He was a very fast winger and setter with the Blues and the Jets back in the 70s. Now another penalty. Referee just very quickly getting possession away again, and it looks to be
it's Donald Smith.
Yet another penalty. So here we're seeing the referee clamping down pretty hard on the defence and saying you've got to get back. Moves away again. Smith just simply moves forward and accepts the tip. Still going Queensland now, trying a reverse of play here, but once again another stoppage in play, and it's a tip and pass, and it goes to New South Wales this time. It's pretty hard to work out the timing on some of those situations there, Gary. The referee's under a fair bit of pressure with the speed of the game, being able to work out if there's been a legal pass after a tip.
It is very hard, and sometimes there's a lot of friction occurs there. The player is sure he got the ball away first, but the referees, they always play the game the way that they see it, and 99% of the time they've been right, and the referees at this tournament this week have done an excellent job, and the rapport between players and referees has never been better.
Now we're about 4 minutes into this first half, 25-minute halves. The men's over 40s. Queensland have had the lion's share of the territorial advantage in this game so far, but they're up on their last tip now and moving up well, but being tipped there. Good run being put in by one of the Queensland players, but once again the defence equal to the task. So as we get towards the end of each half, we should see some gaps appearing in the defences of both sides. New South Wales having a lot of trouble getting out of their own half. It's Bussell, Kemp, Now Oliveri trying to worry his way through, but he's sent back there by the referee after the tip. Now Bustle once again, very quickly sending a pass out to Bullet Lawrence. Can Lawrence get round on this occasion? He can't. And once again the turnover of possession. Still 0-0 here after 5 minutes. Very close marking. And perhaps both sides will leave some of their more elaborate moves for the end of each half, as once again we see another penalty. Working out what they're going to do here. Moving ahead was Pratt. Pratt now has the ball once again. In possession there is that Neen or Kennedy. Queensland now Queensland look to be developing some space out on the left here, but now they move down centre field once again. A chance for them, but once again the defence comes up to meet them. They're only about 3 metres out now, Queensland. This is a real opportunity for them if they can work out something quickly, but there's no real moves here. There's nothing planned. Players not moving onto the ball. And the ball is spilt, in fact, and we're going to see the penalty awarded to New South Wales. Now, New South Wales possession through Johnson. Through Oliveri. So the pass out to Lawrence. Once again, it's now Brennan. New South Wales still trying to breach this line, but unable to do so. But they are getting Queensland backpedaling now, which they haven't been able to achieve before now. And it's Bustle. Oliveri will come around and collect the ball from dummy half, send it out to a support. It's Brennan. Brennan is tipped before he can get the pass back to Lawrence. And once again the turnover. Now Queensland had an opportunity there to put some pressure on, were unable to do so. They got close to the line, Gary, but they weren't able to work any move to be able to break the defence.
No, I think at the moment it's just a sorting out period where each team just trying to work each other. I don't think
Queensland are on a roll here if they can do something. Once again, the defence equal to the task, although that player might have been up in front of the referee. And the turnover again. The thing about Queensland, that Queensland would appear at this early stage to be able to make more territory in these early sorties.
Yeah, they've certainly had the pressure on New South Wales for much of the match so far, but New South Wales seem to be absorbing that and don't seem to be too worried or too bustled about anything that they're doing.
Grigg moving up to Kemp. Kemp will get the ball again from dummy half. Moving across now is Knight. Kemp is tipped. No, just almost tipped. Now sent it to Bell. Bell gets it. Back to Grigg. Grigg moving across. Can he find someone there? No, he can't. And the turnover of possession once again goes back to Queensland. In that last set of movements there, New South Wales trying to get the initiative there on the roll-on, but Queensland with this roll-on game, as soon as they get it, they just roll the ball back, get it moving again, and there's at least two players in support to play the ball, able to get going once again. And the Maroons now making these easy meters once again. Oh, diving down there was Donald Smith. And New South Wales get it through Grigg. Once again there's Knight. The two Blues just soaking up the pressure, as Gary said, and trying to just hold off here for the time being. Referee didn't like the player being up too close. Now it's Grigg moving up. Grigg still going. Looked to have been more tipped. It was almost a tackle. And what will the referee do here? I think he's going to...
What's happened there is the Queensland player hadn't quite retired to an onside position, and so the referee had no hesitation in handing out a further penalty to New South Wales.
Grigg passed to Clifford, but the pass was offside.
Yeah, forward pass there, so...
Queensland
turned over
moving
to
up once again very quickly. And here come the Maroons down on the right-hand side of the paddock. Charging up once again, just 5-6 metres each time. And there, that was a clever pass in field. Can they get something going on the left here once again? They've still got a chance out left. Queensland spilling the ball there, but that was good combination. And they could well appear to have New South Wales measure. Certainly they have plenty of confidence going into the balance of this match as New South Wales charge up through Tony Herring. Now it's Grigg. Grigg's still going. Grigg looked as though he may have just got through there, but he's called back. In fact, McManus with it. Back to Lawrence. What can Lawrence do? He's trying to weave his way around the defence, but no, the defence has him.
This Queensland side's been getting stronger all week. In the early games they really didn't show too much promise, but as the week's gone on they've gotten stronger and stronger, and in fact they defeated New South Wales last night in the semi-final with a score of 4-1 in the final competition match, Four touchdowns to one.
So 4 touchdowns to 1 to give them plenty of confidence going into this game. Now here's some good work from Queensland as they move play through. Can they get past the defence on this occasion? No, they can't, but very, very close go indeed. And it was Robson who was stopped in his tracks. Well, the referee saying that was just a little bit over-vigorous and pulling them back. And of course the referee need to keep the lid on any aggression in a final. There's always plenty of emotion when you're reaching the pinnacle in your sport. And from here national teams will be selected. A chance, and the ball spilt right on the line there by Queensland. Although they will have the penalty close up. That fellow in the visor they're doing particularly well, Gary. It's just a bit hard to pick up these yellow numbers.
It has been a little bit frustrating, these yellow numbers on the Queensland strip.
Now Queensland are just moving their way across here, just sizing things up. Nothing real dramatic there. Moving in possession now. Huntington. Right on the line. Real pressure now for New South Wales. They'll have to be wary of a couple of players coming up together to try and cause a break with a short passing game. Quick inside pass, and that's exactly what we saw there.
That's John Dixon with the sun visor.
And Dixon, very prominent with moves close to the line. He's being asked to go back a few metres and play it. Going out on the left here to try and send a pass back inside to Dixon. But the ball going astray. And we're starting to see these little flicks and little bit of science coming into the play here close to the line. And it's Queensland may not take too long before they get some points with the ball. But New South Wales now trying to move away from their own line. And there was just a little knock on there. It was picked up by the referee. He's having a good game too.
Smith and Dixon, the two bearded characters from the Queensland side, they're really putting together some great combinations in there and putting New South Wales under a lot of pressure.
Now these Maroon players being stopped to about 5 metres short. Just look for those quick inside passes to break the line. A good dummy here by Queensland through Robson, setting the pass out further, but it goes astray once again. And the referee asking New South Wales to play. Queensland starting to let themselves down a bit here with loss of possession, but as they try and break some of the best defences they would have faced all week, Gary, I guess that's to be expected.
Still, they're keeping New South Wales pinned down here towards their own line. It's great attacking work by the Queenslanders, and even though they're not getting over the line, they're keeping up this pressure on New South Wales. And I wonder just how long New South Wales are going to be able to withstand this pressure.
Halfway through this first half, there's only 13 minutes left in the first half as we see play going out on the left once again. Queensland through Dixon. Back to Dixon. Trying to send a pass across to a support, just collected on the fingertips. The player likes to go with it. Now Dixon from dummy half. Very, very alert player, John Dixon. He's able to size up an opportunity very quickly and keep the play rolling ahead as it goes out there to Lawson. Lawson spills it though, and New South Wales come up with it once again. But New South Wales, Gary, just unable to work out any combination here or any real tactic in the play to work play up into Queensland territory. That's better now with a quick play the ball game as David Knight has it, and it goes out there to Kemp.
They have got a lot of experienced players in this New South Wales side, and they might just be soaking up this pressure, letting Queensland work themselves out before New South Wales really hit back strongly.
Are these the kind of tactics that New South Wales have employed during the tournament to try and sort of wear out their opponents?
In most of the matches, they really haven't had to. They're a very classy side, this New South Wales team, and it might be just a matter of time before they can get their act together.
And Queensland once again are able to work play down into the New South Wales half. These kind of conditions they're experiencing here, high to mid-20s, would be something that wouldn't worry them a great deal.
No,
New South Wales through Oliveri.
It is rather muggy here today. We had that rain this morning, and so it's very humid out there, and I know that the players are sweating out there. They have been in the earlier games today.
Brennan, Bussell there at dummy half. Bussell there acts once again at the acting half position. This time it goes out there to McManus. Bussell again. Ray Lawrence. No real opportunity there for him to work any of his magic. The Hall of Famer, now McManus. Back to Lawrence. Can Lawrence get through? No, he was just tipped there at the death. And once again Queensland will collect the ball. Joining us now in the commentary of this match, the over 40s, men's 40s, New South Wales versus Queensland, the final in this division in the Australian Touch Association Championships. We've got the National Director of Juniors, Michael Spinks. Very close marking game so far, Michael.
Certainly is, Chris. A great day and a great venue for these championships. And we've seen some great touch already.
And our New South Wales is starting to get a bit of a roll on here. They're moving in. They'll be able to hold up Queensland in possession on that particular occasion. They weren't victims of that quick play the ball game that Queensland were using so effectively. And now we see Kemp moving through. McManus. The Blues now starting to get some things going. Just little passes. keeping it going. Now he might be tipped. No, Lawrence goes through and has he got the ball over the line in time?
The referees actually called a touch on that player. It was very, very close.
Oh, very, very close indeed, but McManus now gets it. McManus got it back there to Brennan, and the referee was called on to make a pretty tight decision on that occasion. Now Queensland, after soaking up the first real pressure that New South Wales have been able to put on them, once again very quickly moving away from their own line, although an error made there by Donald Smith, and we're going to see Wayne Clifford start the movement again once again for New South Wales. Then it went to Knight. Moving out on the left here.
Perhaps we'll see New South Wales finally put some pressure on Queensland.
Vickery. Then back to Clifford. Clifford across, and I think the ball might have been knocked out of his hands. Didn't get it over cleanly. Perhaps not as flashy or spectacular as Queensland, Michael, but New South Wales, as Gary said, very effective.
They are very effective, and the few times they've actually been up in an attacking position or a scoring position, they've looked very, very dangerous, gone very close.
And just a little more subtly, just moving play up. Queensland just now moving it play over to the right. There were no real opportunities here unless something can be created all of a sudden, and nearly working their way through.
You should also remember these guys are over 40s, and they're out there and they're displaying a lot of skills and a lot of speed, and it's a credit to each player.
They're showing tremendous skills, tremendous elusive skills, and Knight now gets the pass back to Johnson. Johnson then on to Grigg. Grigg gets it out there wide there further, but the referee not happy with the pass. A turnover of possession once again. Still 0-0 here. Men's over 40s final in the Australian Touch Association Championships, coming to you from Bruce Stadium here in Canberra.
Just 8.5 minutes remaining in this game, so it's been pretty tight for that first 17 minutes of the match.
Just noticing there, as they move back for the defensive line for each tip, some of the players could be getting awful close to being ruled offside, and that's understandable on a hot day as you approach the half-time break. New South Wales getting a relieving penalty there. Now moving play up, the Blues just playing Queensland at their own game here, just quick play the balls, 5-6 metres on each occasion, occasionally a little bit further. And once again they're facing their last tip. They're trying to get something over to the right here. A long pass goes out there to Kemp, but Kemp spills the ball. But it was good working play there as they moved up each tip individually 5-6 metres ago, and then Olivieri came into the line and sent a pass out wide that went astray. Queensland in possession now through Dixon, who was so prominent early, and no doubt he'll come up again as they get towards the New South Wales line. Chance here, going out on the left, but the referee has awarded a penalty to Queensland there, and Queensland looked to be in position. I think Donald Smith there might have been happy to go on with it. He's got possession of the ball getting to Dixon. Now here's something on the left for them. Couldn't get the pass back. Dixon has it again. Then on to Donald Smith. Donald Smith still going. Has to send another pass. Will do. Can he get over the line? Very close to the line, Queensland. Referee sends him back once again.
It was a great touch there from Barry McManus. He really had to stretch out there and dive at the last minute, but it was good defence.
Now all of a sudden the players look as though they're stopping dead, but they're actually just trying to size up an opportunity perhaps for one of their teammates. Good defence by New South Wales on that occasion. Really stretched on that occasion. And the two Blues now very quickly working play away from their own line. In possession of the ball there is Kemp.
One wonders how long each side can absorb this pressure.
Knight. Then back to Bustle. Bustle working his way up through play here. Now Olivieri tried to get a pass. It was knocked down by one of the Queensland players in Dixon. And we'll see the count start once again. Dave Olivieri has it for New South Wales and gets it to McManus. Olivieri. Bustle now with it. Just simple work here by New South Wales, getting that all-important possession up so they can work and move close to the Queensland line. And they're getting pretty close now through McManus. And not quite able to finish off the move. McManus holds his hand up there. Queensland in possession. No, New South Wales with it. Now Queensland will have it. So even though it may not seem to the untrained eye easy work, that defensive work close to the line, you've really got to be on your mettle, haven't you, Michael, to prevent a fella just slipping through all so quickly.
You certainly have. It's very much a one-on-one game, similar, I guess, to basketball, where you're actually marking up a particular person. And the pressure's on.
Now Queensland, with this quick moving game, were able to get back into the New South Wales half, but Lindsay Kemp then sent it out to Oliveri for New South Wales and back to Ray Lawrence. Lawrence sent back to play the ball. Oliveri, now Kemp to Bustle. Back to Knight. Knight trying to step and weave his way through and just about barreled over there.
The referee's penalised him there for interfering in the ruck.
And so play will continue. Getting very close once again to that Queensland line. Brennan gets it once again back to Bustle. Bustle dumbing his way through, then drops it very quickly on the ground, and New South Wales may have scored a try here. No.
He's ruled a touch again. Very
touch
very
and
close.
Pass. Very close indeed. That was really a line ball situation as Clifford got it. Then it got back to Kemp. Kemp could get a pass through, but the Queensland player knocked the ball down. And Queensland in possession. And they've done very well in the last couple of minutes to hold New South Wales out as the Maroons move up once again here. Getting up towards halfway and getting up towards half-time too, with only 4 minutes left in this first half. The men's over 40s final, the Australian Touch Association Championships being played at Bruce Stadium in Canberra. Last tip for the movement. Getting around a couple. The referee says no, you were tipped on that occasion, and David Knight picks up the ball for New South Wales. Oliveri to Ray Lawrence. Look at Ray Lawrence go. Now New South Wales with a break up over here on the right make a quick 20 metres. Lawrence has it once again. Sends it back there to Knight, who very quickly tips and plays on, then goes to Brennan. Brennan another pass, but tipped. Sent back on that occasion, Lindsay Kemp. Bustle has it. Goes to Clifford. Clifford drops it very quickly now for Bustle. Bustle then to Brennan. Last tip. Queensland in possession again. They get to about 3 or 4 metres away, and they just can't quite break through. This could be a 1-0 final, Michael.
Certainly could be. It's coming down to one mistake or one good play. That's really what these players are going to gear up for.
And fatigue will play a part.
Certainly
as
will.
Queensland are moving across here. Perhaps something before the half-time break might see them through for the rest of the match. Still 0-0. New South Wales getting it through Ray Lawrence. Oliveri. Then Knight. Oliveri. New South Wales getting up towards the halfway line, and a chance to make some yards here down on the left flank as Phil Bell is tipped. Dummy half is Clifford. Then it was Johnson. Then back to Clifford. Certainly refreshing to see as New South Wales get the ball through Johnson, then back to Vickery. Vickery then to Knight. Knight collected and change of possession. Michael, refreshing to see compared to people who are used to watching rugby league or rugby union. Very quickly, as soon as something happens, the ruck is cleared straight away. There's no nonsense in a tackle.
Certainly not.
It's the benefit of touch.
It's very, very fast game. You'll notice that there's absolutely very, very few stoppages in the game. Once the 6 touches are up, change possession, the other team's straight on the attack.
Now Queensland with a chance here to move away, but they're not able to just quite breach that line. And the referee says we'll have a turnover of possession. New South Wales get it. Only about 10 metres away from their own line and very close to our cameras. Kemp. New South Wales moving up here. That's good support play. Very just close to the acting half. Going out on the left now is Terry Brennan. Drops it back for Ray Grigg. Back inside to Kemp. Last tip. Just tried to get through. Once again, very close to the line. End-to-end stuff. But the defences are holding on when it matters most. Just 1 3/4 minutes left in the first half of this first final, the men's 40s division, the Australian Touch Championships.
Both sides very even at the moment. New South Wales have actually come back into the game. Queensland had an early advantage, but now it's very even.
Yes, Queensland were making tremendous yards, but they weren't able to sustain that effort. New South Wales, as Gary Blackett had suggested, just soaked up some of that early pressure and sized their opposition up, and perhaps now taking advantage of some of the petrol that Queensland have burned away. And New South Wales are playing it well into Queensland territory. Johnson, Grigg, McManus, back to Vickery, Ray Lawrence, then it sends it over to McManus, Lawrence again, McManus, going over to the right here. Only 50 seconds left now, first half. New South Wales a chance to score. I think the inside pass was collected, but the support wasn't there. But we're just starting to see a few gaps open on either side of the ruck as Queensland move up play once again. And Dixon making a quick 3 or 4 metres for his state.
As Darryl Landsberg, we've got 2 players out there at the moment with sun visors on with from Queensland, and that's Dixon now with the ball.
Then got it back there to Donald Smith. Donald Smith dummies and still going. Donald Smith got another pass away. But I think it was Pratt that was collected. And we'll see a turnover of possession once again. Close to half-time. Just 15 seconds to go in this first half. And we'll, the two sides will turn around with a 0-0 scoreline. But by gee, it's been a very close go. Two opportunities, I think, for each state to put their first touchdown on the board. But not able to, just not able to break the defence. There's half-time. As we see play coming through here, it's Tony Kemp who's going to be tipped. And in that last 2 or 3 minutes, gentlemen, we saw some exciting action and the first hint the defences might be broken, 0-0.
There were seemed to be a couple of opportunities for each of the teams, but I think the defence at the moment, both teams concentrating very much on that defence, making sure that the opposition can't get through, and it's remained at 0-0.
So, Michael, what were your thoughts on that first half? Plenty of play, and what about some of the players that you thought might have been performing particularly well in that first half?
I thought both sides performed very well. It's really a matter of, I think it's going to come down to in the second half the fatigue of the players, even though they do have 14 players on each side. Very, very humid conditions, and it does take its toll. Particularly, it's at the end of a very, very tough week.
It's again, but spilling it now, a chance for New South Wales. Only a few metres away from the Queensland line, early stages of the second half. 0-0 here as Lawrence tries to work his way through. Grigg will get it from dummy half. Then it goes back to Kemp. Kemp now will roll it back to Oliveri. Oliveri sends a pass away to Kemp. Very close now, New South Wales, taking advantage of that mistake. Oliveri is tipped as the acting half, and Queensland will get the ball. So good and quick thinking by the Queensland defence there to nullify a very dangerous situation for them as Donald Smith gets the ball. Smith passing out further. Queensland recovering quickly. Donald Smith up to halfway already. Dixon, Smith, out wide further. Now Smith, trying to work his way through, is tapped. And New South Wales collect it once again through Grigg and Oliveri. Kemp. McManus got it back to Clifford. Clifford now collects it, acting half. Quick yards made here by New South Wales. Collecting it now is Michael Johnson. Now Clifford. And Brennan. Clifford again. Very close now, New South Wales. Brennan very close to a try. What's the referee going to do here? Is that a try? Yes, it is. A touchdown, I beg your pardon. A touchdown. But first blood to New South Wales, and we're only 2 minutes into the second half. The first touchdown of these championships, and scored by New South Wales, and well thought out, just very subtly, the possession again, sent through, and 1 touchdown to 0.
Well done there, and scored by Terry the Colonel Brennan.
And the Colonel sets his army going. And so perhaps just the positional moves there by New South Wales in the second half have unsettled the Queensland defensive pattern. Then they have to rethink their effort here. And they just about got over the line, but the ball was spilt. And New South Wales will collect it and retain. It'll give New South Wales great heart as they move through in this second half.
They've certainly started the second half off at 100 miles an hour, and they're looking very, very impressive.
So Queensland just left a bit, their attitude left a bit back in the dressing room. New South Wales taking full advantage. And it was interesting to see, as we see New South Wales moving up again there. Tony Kemp. Queensland collect it. Now Queensland will be keen to try and get level again very, very quickly here. As Landsberg had it. Queensland, Landsberg dummies and gets very close to the line, but the referee says no, go back. That was a touch. And Queensland trying to worry their way over the line here, trying to fire a pass back there to Dixon. Can Dixon go on the way and go and score? He will.
Great little dummy by John Dixon as he weaved his way over, and he really set off sideways there and didn't appear to be going anywhere, but he created an opening for himself and went over in the corner.
So a touchdown there to level the scores at 1-1, and how often do you see after 25 minutes of no points on the board, within 60 seconds of each other, touchdowns to either side. 1-1 now in the over 40s, and perhaps we were talking about 1-0 just before the break, Michael. It looks as though we may see a bit more action here after the Lemons. New South Wales.
The game's certainly not over. It's certainly starting to liven up now. I think the fatigue players
Kemp
getting a little bit tired.
Now it's Greg. Greg close to the line, has to fire a pass back inside the line, still score.
Always a dangerous player, Ray Lawrence, and that was very well thought out. He came back inside, and wasn't it a great pass there from Greg?
So just very simple inside play, just gets it away from the acting half position. And Lawrence was there for the second touchdown, 2-1. Anything you can do, I can do better, seems to be the motto of the players out there at the moment. So from 0-all at half-time, we could end up with a pretty high scoreline. 2-1 to the Blues. The Maroons once again with it all to do to bring it up square. And they're very quickly moving play up away from that tip-off, touch-off position.
And let's see if it's this next 60 seconds is going to bring about another touchdown, or can New South Wales hold it out?
And New South Wales are going to get possession now here through Ray Lawrence, very quickly moving play up once again. New South Wales seem to have more time to get through their work than Queensland do. They seem more methodical.
As I mentioned earlier, they're a very experienced side, this New South Wales side. Many of their players had represented New South Wales in the over 35s division for many years.
And David Knight just about trying to make a breakthrough there, but Queensland collect the ball. We're about on halfway here. These fields 70 by 50 in length.
And that 70 metres doesn't seem too far, but I tell you what, if you take an intercept on your own line and have to run that length of the field, it's a long way.
And Queensland looked to have spilled it there, but they're being allowed to continue as Landsberg got the ball. Landsberg gets it again, fires a pass over the top. It's going to be collected there, but also touched well there by Tony Kemp. Queensland just trying to see if they can work a quick passing game. A long pass out here wide, but it falls in front of the man intended to receive it. And New South Wales will collect possession here once again, just very slowly, very carefully. No mistakes, but very quick roll balls enable them to keep play going. Ray Grigg being sent back to roll the ball back. Johnson.
Here's Johnson
Johnson's still going. Back now McManus. McManus still going. He'll need to try and find someone to pass it to.
I think they just collected him across the front of the shirt there. It was
yes,
a good touch, but McManus almost got through that gap.
Johnson elects to go down.
Bit of back-chatting there at the referee. And,
so a little bit of pressure here coming through, and Queensland just a bit of indiscretion there. The discipline not there at the moment, and no dummy half there at the moment either. Queensland will get it. Takes the pressure off them. Dixon. Now a key man here would have to be Donald Smith for Queensland to try and perhaps counter the brilliance of Ray Lawrence. Queensland spilling the ball. Now Queensland
would pass there from Dixon, and
now the Maroons appear to be losing the drift of it here at the moment as Terry Brennan got it.
Losing a bit of composure, and they keep turning the ball back over to New South Wales in these vital positions, putting themselves under pressure.
Now Brennan back to Greig, then to Clifford. Simple stuff, but it's effective. Allowed to continue for just one there, but the referee says go back once again on that. It was a touch. Knight. Back, but spilt this time as Clifford just couldn't collect that ball for New South Wales. Queensland now try and work that ball away again from their line. Queensland being forced back and backpedaling. A good comeback here by New South Wales. I feel as though Queensland may have had their measure in the first half, although there were no touchdowns. Knocked down by Terry Brennan. Smith has it.
That's a great little passing movement. We could see Bernie Louth's skills there. He slipped away a magnificent pass. He got it under the arm of one of the New South Wales players and almost put one of his teammates away.
Now Lowther rolls it back. Across the support players once again. It's very difficult to pick up some of these Queensland numbers with the yellow numbers on the background, but we'll do what we can to identify these players for you. As we see a penalty go to Queensland. Referee not happy with the defensive pattern, and Lawson just rolls it forward. A good chance now for Queensland to square up. 2-1 to New South Wales. We're in the second half of the men's over 40s Australian Touch Championships at Bruce Stadium. What can Queensland do here? Perhaps they can just very quickly work out something with a player coming up. An inside pass perhaps. A bit of balking here at the roll ball. What's going on here?
This situation's what's called the Mexican standoff, where the defensive side stays on their line and the attacking side tries to tempt them off to try and catch a player in an offside position and maybe score from that.
Well, the acting half there just almost went over the touchdown, over the line, and we're going to see a turnover of possession.
the acting half, of course,
Not allowed to
can't score a touchdown, so sometimes they'll allow the acting half to run and get himself into a bit of trouble, and then once the acting half is caught, of course, that's a change of possession, and the defensive side then gets the ball.
And perhaps just instinct to try and go and score points. Benny Lowther calling out some instructions there and also calling to the bench. Perhaps we'll see some interchange. Now each player, there's 7 aside on the field, but they each have a buddy on the touchline there. So there's 2 working in tandem at all times.
You'll notice players interchange quite frequently, especially in these hot and humid conditions, and with the pressure on them at the moment.
Oliveri's still going. Can he get a pass back to Greg? Greg just about gets over the line, but the referee has picked up the forward pass. Queensland in possession, but Queensland are in a lot of trouble here. If we see another touchdown, that could be game, set and match to the Blues. They're leading this one 2-0 with 15 minutes left in the game.
Queenslanders are getting very tired. They're making a lot of changes here. Constantly they've got players on and off, so they're probably feeling the effects of this weather, and that's probably surprising. The Queenslanders, you'd imagine, would be more used to this kind of weather than the New South Wales players.
Their earlier matches perhaps may have been tougher than the New South Wales, who knows, but as you say, Queensland did knock over New South Wales 4-1 in the last preliminary round. But at this stage, the Blues lead 2-1 after a scoreless first half. McManus, Ray Lawrence. Very quickly from the roll ball, we see it go across to Knight. And New South Wales, a feature of their game in this second half, Gary, is their ability to get the ball away from the roll ball situation. And once again, we see another quick pass. A quick passing game to Knight. Back to Ray Lawrence. Can Ray Lawrence do something with it here? Steps and weaves off one foot, sends another pass out wide further to Bustle, I think it is.
Great play.
And Bustle scores a great touchdown for New South Wales. And
again, Ray Lawrence had injected himself into the play, came from the far wing, wrapped right around. There was a wrap started off from Dave Knight, who created a bit of space. Ray Lawrence then came around him, opened up the clearing, and Ray Bustle then had nobody left in front of him, and a great touchdown there scored by New South Wales.
With 14 minutes left in the game, the touchdown sees New South Wales go to a lead of 3-1. Now Queensland really have to score and score very, very quickly. They really need to score a touchdown in the next 60 seconds to have any chance, one would think, with the way this game has flowed. But they've spilt the ball there. Roll ball. And that feature of the build-up of that play, Gary, as we saw the quick roll ball. Once again, we see it here once again. David Knight. David Knight just makes a break on his own. They're waiting for someone in support to pick him up. It's Oliveri, but Oliveri spills it.
Dave Knight's having a big second half. He's putting Queensland under a lot of pressure. A lot of those runs first off the ruck, and he's really picking the right place to run, getting Queensland going backwards. But here we see Queensland now starting to move the ball forward. Let's see if they can hold the ball for a while. I think one of their biggest problems has been the fact that they have been dropping the ball in some of the early touches.
Now Lowther got a pass away there on the last touch. Quick passing here to try and break the line, going out wide to the right. Can they pick up another support player? No, they're not able to, and New South Wales will collect it. And the Blues lead this 3-1, just getting a bit of air into the lungs. Plenty of sweat coming off these players as Oliveri has it. It's interesting, the experience of David Oliveri with his years with the Newtown club. He's come to the fore, just calling the shots there early in some of these movements. And once again, Oliveri moves up early. A pass there back to Lindsay Kemp. Kemp being asked to go back, accept the touch. And Oliveri looks to have been hit in the head there as he went down. Just shaking his head, he may go off there for a bit of a breather as Herring has it. Sends it back to Greg. Greg on to McManus. McManus rolls it back very quickly there to Greg. Greg's still going, but he's going to be called up as the acting half, and there'll be a turnover of possession.
Happy to take the touch there and turn the ball over to Queensland. We realised that New South Wales didn't have anywhere to go. Here we have Dixon with the ball, running it up. Gets it out to Pratt.
And Queensland trying to do something with it as it went out further to Landsberg, and Landsberg is collected by Lawrence. Queensland back there to Dixon. He's scored one touchdown here, the only touchdown for his side today. Queensland moving up, trying inside passes to break the line, but the defence of New South Wales strong in the centre, and they just waited there to collect the man and claim the touch. And McManus will roll it back. New South Wales through Herring.
New South Wales looking very impressive in the second half. They've taken control of the game.
Bustle. Then it was Johnson who rolled it back. Bustle has it again back to Clifford. Clifford then to Bustle. Very quickly away to Brennan. This is the difference between the two sides, one thinks. As you see the roll ball and the acting half very quickly getting the ball away there as Johnson is going to be asked to send the ball back to Queensland. More a case now of consolidating their lead, three touchdowns to 1. Just soaking up some time and putting more pressure on Queensland to try and get away from their line, as we see Donald Smith have it, then send it out to Landsberg, back to Smith. Landsberg just drops it for Landsberg, then to Dixon. Dixon and Landsberg. No, Smith collects it, stepping and weaving his way.
Even though they hold a good lead, I don't think New South Wales want to slow this game down. They want to keep playing it at their own pace. They're playing it at a good, quick pace, and that's causing Queensland to make mistakes. And I think that's how New South Wales have gotten on top of Queensland.
Oh, Bussell just about was through there, but he's been called back on the touch. Brennan. McManus.
That's a penalty there.
And a penalty to Queensland.
A bit of an over-vigorous attacking touch there made by McManus. Pratt taking the ball up.
And Pratt will just accept that touch, moves it out further, trying to send it out along the line, but that New South Wales defence moves up very quickly. And really, we've got now how many? We've gone under the 10-minute mark, 9.5 minutes left in this final. New South Wales leading at 3-1, and it could be first blood to the Blues today, as this Queensland side through Landsberg have it. And now it's a turnover of possession once again.
Peter Buckland making the touch on the New South Wales players there.
And Kemp. Moving up very quickly is David Knight with another incisive burst, then send it to Grigg, then send it to Oliveri. What's Oliveri going to do? He'll have to go back and roll it back. A big smile on his face. He's happy with proceedings. Grigg, Knight, Oliveri. Back to David Knight, who just about had that gap there, and he calls out in despair.
Good pass there from Oliveri, but again, we saw that Dave Knight was creating the opportunity by wrapping around very quickly.
Got the pass away there to Lawson. Back to Lawson. Out wide further.
Bernie Lowther with the ball.
Now Smith has it once again. I think he may have knocked it on there, but no, he's allowed to continue. Lowther flies a pass over to the left-hand side, and good defence by Kemp on that occasion, preventing Queensland from going forward. Lowther, quick pass, and intercepted by New South Wales, so no need for an official turnover. It just goes over automatically, and Johnson will roll up and accept the touch. Now it's Grigg. Now Lawrence. A little bit of a goose step there, working out what he's going to do. Just wrong foots the defence, sucks one in, but New South Wales knock it on through Grigg, feeling the effects of a pretty heavy second half. Knight, Grigg and Oliveri have been very prominent for New South Wales in this second half, and that's allowed their teammates to really capitalise on some marvellous work and create the space out on the left as Queensland spill the ball now. David Knight has it, sends it out further. Johnson, no, in fact it's Vickers on that occasion who has it. Now Clifford has it. Back to Johnson. Johnson gets it back to Clifford. Clifford there looking for someone to send it to, but no one there for him. Johnson will need to pass it out to Knight. Knight accepts it, then Johnson down the right-hand side. A quick pass here on the right-hand side. Went to Clifford. Clifford out further there to Vickery, but the ball goes over the line.
But there was 6 to go. It was touched by a Queenslander, and so New South Wales again have the pressure.
Vickery and Bussell. Knight. Something out on the left for them. Having a bit of a think about things. Bell.
We can see Queensland under pressure here, trying to keep up with New South Wales, so they move the ball right across
the field. Very quickly there, back inside, went to Kemp, then onto Lindsay Kemp from Tony Kemp, but the play went over the line, as we'll see a turnover of possession as Donald Smith.
A late pass there against New South Wales.
And very short in goals here too, but the pass needs to be effective before they get over the line. As Queensland move away once again through Smith and Lowther. Lowther sent it on to Landsberg, and Lowther got the ball back. Lowther. Queensland here. Now, if they can get a pass on the left, there might be some sort of a show. The shadow's starting to affect the field. Going on the right-hand side, and collected finally there is Landsberg. And he's hurt his arm. Moving off there, and it's the upper forearm, the left arm there. He's been collected there. Maybe he fell heavily on it. As New South Wales will move up. The Queensland is calling for a straight defensive line as a good run's made there by Barry McManus, but the referee says no, not happy with that. A penalty to Queensland.
6.5 minutes to go, and one doubts whether Queensland can get back into this match. Down 2 touchdowns, it's going to be a tough match.
That last effort there that Bussell scored has looks to have broken the heart of the Queenslanders. They're trying all they can to try and do something about it, and Bernie Lowther is very prominent in these attempts to get Queensland back to Tours as Plant sends it across. Then to Smith. Collected again by Queensland, but another touch. Good defence by New South Wales. Donald Smith trying to inject himself into this match. Dixon. Now Smith will need to pass it back to Dixon. Very close.
This will be the last touch, so we'll see New South Wales move up here and try and cut Queensland off before they've got a chance to do anything.
A quick touch.
And that's exactly what they've done.
And that was good work too. Collecting the acting half. Once again, the quick passing game. As soon as New South Wales get the ball from the roll ball, the acting half sends the pass away. Queensland acting half tends to hang on to the ball before he decides what to do with it, and that doesn't allow for enough time for any sort of attacking movement to develop, and this is where New South Wales have had the advantage in this second half. And once again, McManus just accepts that touch as acting half, and Queensland get the ball because they're down deep in Queensland territory. But as you said earlier, Michael, no side can really afford to sit on their laurels. Queensland, they're not happy with that particular effort. Now a pass made by New South Wales. Bustle has it, sends it quickly away to Knight. Knight will drop it for Lindsay Kemp, back to Bustle. Now Bustle has it. What's he going to do with it? Throws a dummy, then collects it, accepts the touch and moves on as the play goes out there to Terry Brennan. Brennan scored one touchdown. Back to Lawrence, and Lawrence has scored again, one thinks.
I think it might be.
Referee says yes, 2 touchdowns to Bullet Lawrence. And so it's 4 touchdowns to 1, 4.5 minutes left, and that would have to be the game.
I'd say that's about it. Bullet again showing just how very quick he is and how quick off the mark, and how something simple like that can turn into a touchdown.
So the man who was inducted into the Hall of Fame of touch in Australia is living up to his reputation today with a marvellous performance for his side. 4 touchdowns to 1 to the Blues.
Ray's greatest asset is his ability to inject himself into the play. Comes in where the middle players are, and he's just too quick over a short distance, and they just can't catch him.
All the class and experience of New South Wales telling now as they lead by 4 touchdowns to 1. Moving play out on the right-hand side there is Brennan with another pass back to Johnson. Johnson then sent it on to Tony Kemp. Now Ray Grigg has it. Grigg sends it out further there to Terry Brennan. We'll see a turnover of possession.
It's been a big scoring second half. No touchdowns in the first half, and there's already 5
in
this second half.
And 25-minute halves here in all of these matches today as Queensland try and put something together here and perhaps have something to walk off the field with that they can say that they've at least scored 2 touchdowns. Now a dummy here by Queensland. If they can get another pass at here, it could be interesting. New South Wales defence equal to the task now as Smith has it. Smith fires a quick pass out along the line. Now Queensland trying to do something here. Send it back on the left-hand side. Still going Queensland. Queensland spilling the ball. Just they got very close to the line. And the Blues have it through Michael Johnson. No, Queensland have been asked to have a last touch. Can they do something with it? A pass back to Smith. Another pass to Queensland and very close to the line, just about over.
Yeah, John Lawson almost getting himself over the line, and New South Wales seem very casual there. Maybe they're relaxed with the size of the lead that they hold, but I think they're still professional enough to keep the defence up till the end of this match.
And 2.5 minutes are left in this men's 40s division final of the Australian Touch Championships as Ray Lawrence makes a good run, then sent it back along to a support. Lawrence gets it back now, then out to Lindsay Kemp. Lawrence at acting half, Olivieri. Very impressive work around the roll ball. They're able to just clear that roll ball area and create extra work for the men in the centre of the Queensland defensive line, and the gaps have been forthcoming. Queensland moving up here once again, trying to get one more touchdown on the board at least as Dixon moves up. Dixon gets around one man, still going Dixon, sends another pass inside, but New South Wales again through Bustle are able to stop on this occasion Rod Pratt.
New South Wales just seem to have picked up the pace somewhat in this second half, and Queensland were just unable to keep up with the speed that New South Wales were able to play the game.
And as Gary Blackett suggested, who's here, National Technical and Development Officer of the Australian Touch Association, he said the experience the New South Wales players could tell, and that's exactly what's happened. They just soaked up that early speed and pressure from Queensland and were able to go on with it as Olivieri drops the ball. Possession retained by New South Wales. Now Grigg will hand it over. 1.5 minutes left. New South Wales 4, Queensland 1. Plenty more action coming up in Bruce Stadium here this afternoon. 7 finals to be contested in the Australian Touch Championships. As New South Wales again get possession of the ball, and maybe they can just have another touchdown to leave the championships with, as Herring has it. Now Johnson, bit of a standoff there. Finally, he's collected by the defence. Grigg has it. Who will Grigg look for? Sends a pass over there to Vickery. Vickery back inside there to Grigg, who very quickly plays it back, and Vickery has it once again. Delays, then throws a pass through Knight. Knight has it once again at acting half. Will need to pass it inside to Vickery, and Vickery dives for the line. Referee says no try. Collected on the ankle, and Queensland will get possession of the ball with 40 seconds on the clock.
Just place that ball about a metre short of the line.
So almost 5-1. A penalty to Queensland here. Get off and get onside. Queensland moves up very quickly with another tip. And the referee says go back and accept the touch. Queensland getting close to time now. May not have enough time to put another one on the board. A comprehensive victory in the second half to New South Wales. Scores were 0-0 at half time. And they came out roaring in the second half, the Blues, and have been able to do enough. And the move of Ray Lawrence into centre field early in that second half appeared to unsettle the Queenslanders full time. And so the first final decider in the Australian Touch Championships this afternoon in the over 40s division, the men's, New South Wales 4, Queensland 1, touchdowns for New South Wales, 2 of them to Ray Lawrence, 1 to Terry Brennan, another one to Ray Bussell, and for Queensland 1 touchdown to John Dixon. Your thoughts on the game, Gary Blackett?
Well, yes, the experience of New South Wales did tell in the end. They were able to pick up the pace in the second half and capitalise on the mistakes that they were then able to cause Queensland into making. Some of the big names from the New South Wales side really stood out. People like Ray Lawrence, Dave Oliveri and Michael Johnson, I thought, had a very strong game in the middle. Davey Knight really put a lot of pressure on them. He's very quick around the centre there, very fit for an over 40s player, and I think that fitness and experience that the New South Wales players had was just a bit too much, and well deserved. They were the minor premiers in this division, and they've taken out the premiership again in the men's over 40s division.
New South Wales 4, Queensland 1, touchdowns for New South Wales, 2 of them to Ray Lawrence, 1 to Terry Brennan, another one to Ray Bussell, and for Queensland 1 touchdown to John Dixon.